on DraftKings. So the first fight, Carlos Ulberg is the favorite against Nikolai Negumereanu. I agree with these odds. I agree with this. Carlos is minus 125. I can see that, but
yeah,
Nikolai does have a good chance of winning, so he's an underdog, but
the close.
He a live dog, though. Make no mistake about it. But it's just the way that Carlos slept his last opponent, but Tayfun not as clean as Nikolai. Well, he ain't clean. Nikolai ain't clean either, but he ain't. Tayfun don't have as many tools.
Yeah.
And then we got Julio Arce versus Montel Jackson. Julio is plus 175. I can see that. Because Montel got knockout power, he done dropped. How many knockdowns did he have?
10? I think like 10, over 10.
I'll say it again.
I think over 10 knockouts Montel Jackson has.
Yeah, so that's fair. I
think he should be bigger than that though, but
he ain't fought in a long time. And he seems to fight. Like he get injured and then he don't fight for a while, and Julio at least been active. It's been up and down results, but then we got Matt Favola versus Ottoman Azatar. Whoa, I expected Matt to be an underdog.
Yeah, I guess I'll be making some money that night.
This is actually kind of shocking.
Yeah, I don't think there's not too much Matt can do to Ottoman. On paper, he's just a bad matchup for Matt. So I don't know who came up with this.
Not only on paper, but in the cage too. Like it's just.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with these.
Carolina versus Silvana. Kind of a toss-up because you never know
which Carolina you're going to get.
And Silvana just can't stay away from arm bars. So that's Aaron Blanchfield is minus 390 versus Molly McCann.
I agree with that, but I didn't expect that, if that makes sense.
Because a lot of times we might see it like that, and that makes sense to us. The odds makers, they'll go for the popular fighter. But I guess when it comes to people money, they're like, hey, I got to go with what I really might think going to happen here. So they really saying Molly like plus 320.
I guess they thinking like, well, the chances of getting another spinning back elbow.
Not even that, just winning in general. Surely she's not going to go in there and keep trying that against. If that happened to Aaron, I don't know what to say. I don't think she's going to let that happen. Then we got Dominic Reyes is minus 225 versus Ryan Spann. Agree or disagree?
I agree because he fought for the belt, man. Look who he lost to. And some people will say that he beat John Jones, man. So
we got to let that go. We got to let that go,
I'm saying it's the level of competition. It's the level of competition that he's fought before. And Ryan Spann, his toughest fight is against Johnny Walker. One person, hell no. One person toughest fight against John Jones, another person's toughest fight against Johnny Walker.
You know what's wild about this? This fight was in 2020. That wasn't even a long time ago. Bruh, that was right before the pandemic. Whoa. That fight a little bit closer than I thought it was. For some reason, I thought that was like years ago, like years.
And then Ryan Spann alternates wins and losses, man. It's about time for him to lose. It's about time for Dominic Reyes to win. Yeah, we know how this goes.
But Dominic ain't never bounced back from being undefeated, though, after losing that first time.
Oh, it's true.
So he might go on to Chris Weidman. Come on now. So now we got Andre Petrosky and Wellington Turman. I know more about these guys than you do, but I agree with this, man, because Wellington has lost some fights to some tough guys, but the way he got put down and his fight IQ, man, his decision making in the UFC is bad. Like he went to a decision with Sam Alvey and almost let Sam get back in the fight a few times, and it was just like that should let you know everything you need to know right there, man. And he kind of, it's funny because he's susceptible to getting submitted, but he wants to be on the ground going for the submissions. But a lot of times when he get put on his back, he get ground and pounded, like knocked out. I ain't never seen somebody want to fight on the ground, and as soon as they get the fight to the ground, they actually get finished from their own guard, like over and over and over again. And Andre, he said something. He's from Philly. He said he want to be one of those wrestlers that go for the knockout, kind of like Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje. These are the specific people he named. Where he was like, these are people who have a wrestling base, but they can put your lights out. And that's more than likely what's going to happen here. Brad Waddell and Moicano, I would agree with this, man.
Yeah, man. Brad, 2-fight losing streak.
And Moicano, he coming off a loss, but it was a short notice one. And he was on a win streak before that.
Yeah, it's looking like Brad has a ceiling, and he can't beat the type of the caliber of fighter as Hinato.
And especially when you dangerous on the feet and you dangerous on the ground. Because Jalen Turner, he got to watch out for submissions. He had to watch out for striking. It was a lot. And then he got hit with both. So, Mike Trizano and Song Woo Choi.
I don't know about this one, man.
Mike Trizano, you should flip these numbers around. It should be 531. Because I just don't.
Yeah, but Seung Woo, his
decision making is kind of bad.
Man. He might let Mike back to the fight.
I know.
But he more than likely, in my opinion, gonna win. But I mean,
that's why the odds ain't too crazy. It's like he's a favorite, but I think people understand some of the limitations and some of the mental stuff that we've seen. That's why this ain't like -300 or 400 nothing. Don't put all your money on this guy because anything could happen. We got Dan Hooker is the favorite against Claudio Puelles.
Oh, absolutely, that should be
because Puelles is so dangerous on the ground, but he ain't got no way to get to the ground without getting knocked out.
It's that, but it's also who Dan Hooker lost to, man. You losing to Dustin Poirier and Islam and Arnold. All those guys might be in top 5.
But the thing about losing is once you start losing to those big guys, when you start a losing streak, you start getting beat by people who otherwise wouldn't have no type of chance against you.
Maybe.
And I talk about that momentum of losing. It's just like winning. You start winning, you start feeling like you can beat people who, if you wasn't on a win streak, you might not be that confident. So then we got Frankie Edgar is +180. That's it against Chris Gutierrez. You know why? Because Chris, like, he's good standing up and he's dynamic, but he ain't necessarily super dangerous with it. You know?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, man. Like, and sometimes it look like he don't pull the trigger as much as he could if he wanted to. So he could be a little bit too calculated at times.
And they leave a little bit of room for Frankie to maybe get in the game.
Yeah, Frankie is a former champion too, man. So it's kind of hard to bet against him.
Yeah. So that's cool. Then we got Dustin Poirier, slight favorite over Michael Chandler. I agree with that. Like I was telling you on the prediction, Michael Chandler last 2 wins came against Tony Ferguson and Dan Hooker. They have a combined how many losses in a row? And these are your last 2 wins that you holding on to. I'm sorry, man. You really look at that in that perspective. This might need to be a little bit more, but he talking about retirement and stuff. So it's like, I think people also understand that aspect. And he lost 2 title fights, and people are kind of thinking about that. But Michael Chandler lost to one of them same people, and he might have lost to the other one. Could be. So then we have Carla Esparza is +280, the biggest underdog so far, against Weili Zhang. +280. You like those numbers because you actually think Carla, would you want her to win?
Yeah, I mean, not really. If I want Carla to win, I mean, I don't really like those numbers. I mean, because most people think she's gonna lose, but at the same time, they both former champions. It's just Weili lost to one person. She lost to one person. She lost to Rose,
and one of them was controversial.
And one of them that we saw the fight live, and we're not live, but we saw it.
Yeah, it was live.
We weren't there. We weren't there at the event, but live, it looked like Weili won the fight. Man, we was discouraged with the outcome. But
and Carla got several losses on her record, which means she can be beat multiple ways.
And also the way Carla looked in her last fight. Yeah, she's a champion, but she wasn't impressive at all.
And it ain't like she won dominantly. Like, they really could have just flipped the coin on that one. That's why she got the belt. And I'm not trying to downplay it, but let's be real. We all saw that. It was garbage. That fight could have went either way. And now, lastly, Alex is an underdog, which he should be, because this is a different sport. This is MMA, and Israel is a champion. We got to respect that. But he's only +155.
Man, I think...
Is it worth the money to put on there?
I think Alex should be a favorite, man. To be honest, man.
That's wild. A favorite?
Yeah, I think Alex should be a favorite. He beat him twice, and stylistically, man, it's just not a good matchup for Israel. And then he fought. He didn't struggle bad, but he got beat definitively against Jan, another bigger, stronger, powerful striker
who also was starting to wrestle too. So
yeah, but he's beat him on the feet too. Because you look at the stats, like he was dominating him on the feet too. It wasn't by a big margin, but at the same time, it's just the size and knockout power threat. it's kind
But Jan has been 5 rounds before too, man.
True.
Can Alex go 5 rounds? Because when we get to the championship rounds,
I don't
that's
think he
gonna be
needs to. I think Alex has about 3 rounds to beat Israel to knock him out. If he gonna do it in those 3 rounds, then.
But he still got that power. That power ain't going nowhere. Period.
And also, it's not like Israel. He still can't never get overly aggressive against Alex, even in the 5th round, because then he can make a mistake and get knocked out. Because he a kickboxer. Well, they're both kickboxers, but in the kickboxers they train to be dangerous in later rounds. He's not fighting Alex. Not fighting a wrestler. He's fighting another kickboxer. So this actually gonna be like a kickboxing match.
Man, that's interesting, man. That'll be those are the odds currently. So for people looking at bets and stuff like that, hit up DraftKings. We ain't sponsored nothing, but we're just looking at the odds.
Not yet.
But and I ain't giving away no money. I'm keeping my money in my wallet this week. There's too many iffy, like 50-50 outcomes. This is like UFC 280. Well, it was too many, But
you can't go wrong betting on Weili and betting on Alex, though. You can't go wrong with them two.
Yeah, because Alex already did it, and
but the Weili, that fight go 5 rounds, then.
And then Chandler, look, and I made a prediction. I picked Dustin, but like if I'm betting, I wouldn't mind having a little parlay with Michael in it because anything can happen. He got that power, and Daniel Hooker on a kind of like a bad little loser streak. This ain't bad.
Yeah.
None of these odds, man. So mix